Welcome to Often Pacing on Tab Radio Racing and Sport. Tim Walker will be joined by Matt Young and Oliver Cownie as they delve into the form for today's Pinjarra harness meeting, as well as an early look at tomorrow's meeting at Gloucester Park. We are Often Pacing.
Very good morning, everyone. Welcome along to Often Pacing on this Monday, warm Monday morning, of course, with the meeting pushed to Bunbury further down south for tonight. And no Pinjarra today. We're going off to Bunbury tonight with the first race getting underway after 5 o'clock. So we'll have plenty to look at there in Gloucester Park tomorrow with the extreme heat has been pushed back to 6 o'clock start. So first tonight at 5:27, concluding the meeting at 9:12, and then tomorrow with the meeting getting underway at 6:08 with just the 7 races tomorrow from Gloucester Park. Let's go into what has been a big week of harness racing action, and we've got Oli Cownie about to join us. Michael Brennan will join us from 9:20 with a look at his runners in today and tomorrow. We see the return of Express Party, some really good, strong winning chances today. We can ask him about My Hammer Down as well, and also Penny Tiger, who trialled up recently at Pinjarra, and looking forward to seeing him back at the racetrack very soon. But Oli Cownie joins us this morning like he does each and every week. Very good morning to you, Oli.
Morning, Matt. Good to be on. It was a good week of racing the last week. Obviously, we saw Leap to Fame return, which was really exciting. So looking forward to the next week.
Yeah, as a race caller, it'd be an absolute pleasure to be able to call a horse like Leap to Fame. Richie Bell was able to call On the Mighty Queen for years, and Chris Barsley seems to be really loving and relishing the role of being able to commentate a champion pacer such as Leap to Fame. And he was just so impressive the way he went about things. There was obviously chatter whether he was going to be able to get to the top, but he just dominated, didn't he?
Oh, he was so impressive again. He's just, every time he steps out, he does it so easily. He just dominates fields, and he beat a horse, Captain Shuffles there, that probably has a fair claim to being the second best horse in Queensland, and he really just toyed with him there. He beat him by about 15 metres. Barely even touched him, Grant. So he's just a really special horse, Leap to Fame, and I'm sure the next few races he starts in, he's going to be incredibly hard to beat, including the Hunter Cup.
We saw 2 heats of the Knights of Thunder on Friday night. They went helter-skelter in the first one, 26-4 first quarter, then backed off to a 30.3. Ventura was involved in the speed and finished in 4th on that occasion. Then you came along, was able to just sit back, bide his time. Gee, I know it's in his name, but this horse has come along in leaps and bounds in the last 6 months, Ollie.
Yeah, definitely. It was just a really impressive win. It was he was a long way off them. He really did need them to go quite quickly in that race, but when they did, he just unleashed a really, really nice finish and was able to score pretty easily in the end. Obviously, for a moment, it looked like Dalby Robin might be the swooper that could possibly take the race out, but then you came along, was just, in the end, after Dalby Robin made that error, he was just way too good for them. Belezanera was good in second there. He's a really nice sit-sprint type horse and seems to really enjoy racing over that short trip, so he's certainly been good there again, and Sugar Apple in third was another good run. He's really come on in recent times and looks to be going well, and possibly the run of the night was Ventura, who was in that 26 first quarter and battled on really well and looked to still have a bit to give late. So there's a few horses there that will be really hard to beat in that final.
And Spicy Major was able to win 152.4. He just makes running times look so effortless, but his mother did as well on the Spicy Lombo. So Spicy Major was able to beat Chivalry and Heavenly Wage in that second heat of the Knights of Thunder, which brings us up to the final, which is going to be Spicy Major, Chivalry, Heavenly Wage. Then you came along, Franco Ecuador, Mr. Mont Blanc, the Belezanera, Sugar Apple and Ventura, with the 2 emergencies, Spyglass and Soho Santorini for this Friday night. The Trotters Sprint, Lover Flair was able to do it again. This is the second time that she's won the Trotters Sprint, and she won the previous time leading. Lauren Harper drove her at double-figure odds, and she got the job done again here at double-figure odds. Donald Harper, he made a real bold move with about 700 metres to go, Ollie. He saw that the favourite was under a bit of pressure, and he pushed Hold That Gold 3 wide, exposing Love Affair a little bit early, but it looked like he was caught in two minds whether he wanted to go and try and make it really hard for the favourite and try and give his horse the best chance to win, which I thought was maybe sit in a little bit longer. It was a really interesting move, but she showed some real heart and determination to get her second trotter sprint.
Oh, it was certainly a very impressive drive there, and I think it worked out perfectly with the favourite sort of going below what he's capable of, but it was noted, obviously, in the steward's report that there was a condition reported there, so maybe that explains why Hold That Gold gave ground so quickly, and he's certainly been a horse that's not had much luck in his races, but Love Affair, she was able to get around there and covered less ground perhaps than Patched, and when they sprinted up, she was only one wide and Patch was coming a bit wider than that, so certainly a very smart drive there to get around them, and she is best known for being a sit sprint mare, but she battled on well there to keep just fighting on, and Patch was coming, and Patch has been such a fantastic trotter now for so many years in WA, and to hold Kim off was certainly an impressive effort, and Sunny's Little Rose in third was a trotter that's just kept improving, and this is really quite an impressive run to run third in a race of that quality, given she's not really been around too long and probably hasn't taken on the best trotters many times. So certainly a horse to follow there in third, Sunny's Little Rose as well. Absolutely, and heading towards the Trotters' Cup in 2 weeks. She's only won the 3 races, so if they do go that way, she's going to get a pretty good handicap, you would imagine. But yeah, those top 3 very strong performances, and Labra Joe, great to see him back into the winners list after locking wheels and start before. He cruised around 156.8, 28.7 and 27 on the way home. That's a quick synopsis of the meeting. We need some horses to follow, Ollie. Where do we find your horses to follow? My first horse to follow was in behind the very impressive winner, Spicy Major. I was really quite impressed by the run of Mr. Mont Blanc. I thought he was making up quite good late ground there, and all the horses he was beaten by are significantly higher NR rating horses. He's quite lowly assessed for a horse of his quality, Mr. Mont Blanc. He's only a 78 rater, so he's still probably eligible to take on a little bit easier company there, and he's a really nice sit sprint horse. So I think if he's able to get the right run just off the speed in a race where the tempo is on, I think he can certainly be one that challenges in a nice race. The second horse I had to follow was Out of Race Age, another impressive winner, Mungatahi. He was really good, but the horse that ran second to him was, I thought, even better. Show Pony was a fantastic effort. Did a little bit of work in the race to get around them, to get outside the leader, and they really dashed up quite a sharp last half, and he was only just beaten by Mungatahi, and right in the end he was beaten by 1.4 metres, so I thought it was a fantastic effort there, and he's certainly a versatile horse and a horse that can do work in his races, so I think there's a few wins for him in the near future. And then in the last race, I thought a horse that just really didn't have much luck and was fantastic in a race the week prior, Princess Katie. She was really good there. I think she nearly ran down Freya after she was left parked out the week prior, and this time nothing worked out for her. She pulled wide when they were sprinting right up, and she just couldn't get into it there. But she's a horse that's racing really well at the moment, and it's been really good this campaign. So I certainly think if she's able to get the right run in a similar kind of race, possibly a better draw than Gate 7, she can figure right in the finish.
Yep, Mr. Mont Blanc, Show Pony and Princess Katie, your horses to follow. My 3, I'm with Always Be Frank, who I thought was going to run a decent race, was getting up the inside. It was a little bit tight for room, and the 2 horses to the outside of the drivers were having a jostling battle for a position, and Always Be Frank copped a nasty check there and galloped out to the tail. But I liked the gate speed that he showed, and I thought he was going to dash up behind them pretty well. So I think he could be one that could drop back to the country rank and be definitely a horse to follow. 2 out of the same race, I agree wholeheartedly with you about Show Pony. I thought he was really good. And you could see first up run for Aidan de Campo, the indication was there straight away. As soon as they went to back off, he went straight to the breeze. So obviously he's been showing plenty at home, and he's been able to stick on really well. And it didn't look like they were getting home in those sections, and to see that home in 27.7, I thought, gee, stuck on really well. And we know when he's right, he's a hard horse to beat. So looks like he's on the right track. And in that same race, because of that last quarter of 27.7, I thought Brennan Vinny hit the line really well. He's been a long time away from the track, and he's had a few runs back from a spell now. And I just like the fact that he ran up behind him, but he went to the line really strongly with that quick last half. And I thought he's just on the improve nicely. So he's one that could fly under the radar and definitely be one to follow. So always be Frank Showpony and Brennan Vinny for me. Let's get into the meetings today and tomorrow. We need some winners. I'm going to start first. We'll go race 3 firstly. I'm with On Lightning Banner. I thought he would just probably be too classy for them. I like what we've seen from him last prep. I just keep going back to that run against Tualoo where he was beaten in 152.8 or 152.9 on that occasion at Pinjarra, and you just thought, oh, gee, this Tualoo must be a nice horse on Lightning Banner. Like, where does that really leave him? And then you see what Tualoo's gone on to do, and you think, On Lightning Banner's a very smart horse in his own right as well. And he's come back from the spell. He's really showing that. He's got an element of versatility, and I think he's going to be really hard to beat in the third race. Race 4, I was very keen on Rock and Lamont. I thought, price dependent on all these, of course, but I thought Rock and Lamont was going to get a really good run, and I just thought he had enough strings to his bow to be able to overcome any of the horses in this field. So I was keen on him. Race 4, number 10. And then race number 6, I'm going with number 4, Fill the Jug. I thought could fire out, get to the top, and then maybe take the cover on Jax's Ideal, and from there be able to run into a placing, hopefully at some each-way odds there. 3, 4 and 6 of the races I'm betting into. Fill the Jug the place. Race 4, Rock and Lamont to win, and race 3, I'm Lightning Banner to win. What will be your thoughts for the meeting here, Ollie?
In race 4, I just totally agree with what you're saying there. Rock and Lamont just looks like he lands in a much, much easier race here. He took on much stronger company last start, and they went pretty quick time. So the fact he couldn't quite finish it off there was certainly no knock. Takes on, much, much easier race here. Ultra Express just isn't in the same class of the horses he took on last start. So I think can sit leaders back there and be extremely hard to hold out late. Out of race 6, I thought this was a really interesting race, this one. There's certainly a few chances in the race, but I do think that Jax's Ideal will be really, really hard to beat in this race. She's a horse that has shown plenty of promise in her career so far, so I certainly think she'll be hard to hold out, and she might be able to work to the top there, and if she can work to the top, she will take plenty of catching in that race. And then in race 7, there was one I was keen to be with in this race on mostly a place. So King Seat, I thought, is a horse that's come back reasonably well for Aldo Cortopassi, and I think this horse's last couple of runs have certainly been better than they read on paper. Has options in the early stages. Ahoka Nico has really good gate speed, but he has done a few things wrong in his short career in WA so far. But if he does everything right, he'd be extremely hard to catch on the front, I think, and that would certainly give King Seat a really good run in behind there, and I'd struggle to see how he misses a place. I think there's not a lot of depth in the race, so the first couple really stand out in Soho Shakedown and Ahoka Nico, and King Seat I thought was clear third pick in that race, so I was really keen to be with him. The first one I was keen to be with. Race 4 was Rock and Lamont, number 10. Race 6, keen to be with Jax's Ideal, number 5. And race 7, keen to be with King Seat, number 1, on a place basis.
Fantastic, Ollie. Thank you for the summary there. Now we move on to Gloucester Park. You can continue on tomorrow with the meeting pushed back to 6:08. We need 2 best bets for the program.
So I was keen to kick things off in race 2. I thought this was a really suitable race for a horse I have a small share in, Blaze On. I thought he was fantastic last start. He was able to sit in the breeze outside of a pretty smart horse in Storyteller and battled on really well there. So I think he can look to do similar. He can get up on speed in this race. If he's not able to lead, I think he can control the race from outside the leader. And his main danger looks to be Vanderbilt, but that horse is really drawn quite poorly in this race and might get a long way back if they take him off the gate. So I think Blazon can get up on speed in that race and can look to control. And then in race 5, I was keen to be with Wave Rider. I think he can certainly bounce back. He'll be short price in this race. He looks a real standout pick, but I think he can lead and win. And I think Arion Rock can run second to him as well. So I think that's how we can play it. I think we can play the Exacta, we can play the Quinella, and those two, they'll look to be fighting out the finish there. So I'm keen to be with race 2, number 6, Blaze On, and I'm keen to be within race 5, Wave Rider and Arion Rock through exotics there.
Okay, so they're the two to follow for tomorrow's meeting at Gloucester Park. On with Jackson Morgan in race 4. He's got a lovely draw. Thought he could burn to the top here, and I think he'll be able to get the job done. So I was keen. Race 4, number 2, Jackson Morgan, and race 6, number 1, Always See Mickey. I thought has been impressive enough on what I've seen in the 3 runs, and from the good draw, likely following behind Pinjarra Rocks, who he's been a bit of a funny horse, Pinjarra Rocks, but I just thought Always See Mickey was a really good place chance first in a Pay 1-2 event. I think can run second, and definitely a small winning chance as well. So race 6, number 1, sort of a 1x4, 1x5 sort of bet, in my opinion, Always See Mickey. And race 4, number 2, Jackson Morgan, I thought was a standout. That's a look at both the Bunbury meeting and also Gloucester Park tomorrow. We head towards Friday's racing action. The Busselton Cup's coming up this Friday. We saw Hillview Bondi win the Albany Cup on Saturday, so well done to Connections there, and heading towards Gloucester Park with the Knights of Thunder final on Friday night as well. So make sure you tune in to the Retrovision Gloucester Park preview on Friday morning for the winners, hopefully on the program there, but that will be in conjunction with Busselton, which we see the running of the Busselton Cup and the key conclusion of the season there. So Knights of Thunder final of Group 3 level, and the following week will be the Trotters Cup. Ollie, thank you very much for your time. We'll chat again to you next week. All the best, good luck and good punting.
Thanks, Matt. Looking forward to it.
There we have Oli Cownie joining us on Off and Pacing. We're going to take a short break and be with Michael Brennan the other side.
Watch all the pre- and post-race coverage at every WA Thoroughbred race meeting, live and free on Racing WA's new 7 Plus channel. Head to 7 Plus to register your free account to watch all the action from your TV or smartphone device. A new era in WA racing has begun. For more information, head to racingwa.com.au.
Hi, I'm Steve Sell from Loans 123. Freecreditreport.com.au is now the only way you can get a copy of your credit file and your credit score for free. Your credit file and the information recorded is a major factor in any loan approval. It's essential that you know and understand what is recorded on your credit file. Have you been declined for a loan or credit card? Do you know why? Get your credit report for free at freecreditreport.com.au or call 1800 100 100.
On Tab Radio, Racing and Sport, this is Off and Pacing.
Welcome back to Off and Pacing. Michael Brennan is joining us now this morning, and he's on the phone coming to you from West Coolabah. Very good morning to you, Mouthy.
Morning, Matthew. How are you, mate?
Very well, mate. So thank you for your time this morning. You've got some nice chances in today at Bunbury and also Gloucester Park tomorrow. A lot of interest in, obviously, the meeting tomorrow with the return of Express Party. One that we saw mentioned in the newspaper yesterday, Penny Tiger. He trialled up last week. How is Penny Tiger ahead of his return to racing?
Yeah, really good, Matty. I was super happy with the way he trialled and the way he settled. Just added the high to him. He was really relaxed off the arm and travelled on a bit of cotton, then obviously showed the speed over that last 800. So, yeah, no, really happy with him. And he'll either start Friday night or the following Friday.
Okay, and with the Pacing Cup run, he led up and got a little bit fierce and then weakened out of it. No doubt there was a very deflating moment to get a good barrier draw in the Pacing Cup and him not be able to perform to his absolute best.
Yeah, it was probably... we thought it was a great draw, but I think it probably played against us a little bit. The couple of times that he sort of come out under his own steam is when he sort of probably fires up a little bit. Whereas when he draws out wide, he blasts and blasts across the arm and then gets that good 2 or 3 lengths in front of him and then relaxes. So, not ideal, but we move on, mate. That was a long time ago now.
Absolutely. And how many runners have you got in today? Because my fields have just decided to play up.
4.
I know that you've got 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Where do we start off with yours then? Fantastic. There we go. He's been racing pretty well.
Yeah, he has. He's a bit of a tricky draw there. Not sure where we get to. But the horse is racing really well. Hasn't finished further back than 5th in his last 5. And if they run it, if there's a little bit of speed early, he'll be charging home late. But he's going good. Definitely a place chance.
Cassini Bell inside of the back row. This horse has come to you and been serviceable. Just needs a touch of luck. Do you think you can get it from the draw?
Probably not a bad draw. But Jackson's ideal. It's pretty hard to beat. We'll probably, be looking to get off the fence down the back somewhere. And I think she's much better. She's much better following a helmet. She's a top 4 player. Probably can't win, but definitely a top 4 player.
Ahoka Nico was a winner first up. He did things wrong and then went to trials and did things wrong before trialling well last week. What's the plan for you going into this race with him?
Not sure. I haven't spoken to Gaz about that one yet. But obviously we probably want to take advantage of our barrier driver Soho Shakedown. He's a nice horse, this horse. But as you say, he can do a few things wrong. But I think we got his gear right now. And as you say, his trial was really good the other day. When he finally decided to do things right. I held my breath a little bit when Gaz come out on the turn, but he seemed confident enough in the way the horse was travelling to do that. So he's if he doesn't win, he should probably get in this.
And in the last race, Sea Fury was luckless last run, got out late and really finished the race off well, which I guess was probably the most encouraging thing out of that race. And even the start before, when he did things wrong, he still hit the line quite well. Do you think this is a really suitable race for him to potentially lead and win?
Yeah, I think so, Matty. You sort of it didn't quite get out the gate as good as we would have hoped last Monday. But probably, again, drawn just that little bit wider seems to help him a little bit too. So I think he can get across. He still doesn't really know what he's doing yet. And I think I've said that in the past about this horse, but he's a nice horse with a big engine. And he probably should be hard enough to beat once again. If he doesn't win, he probably should be running second.
Are we travelling to Gloucester Park tomorrow with one horse that's going to win?
I would hope so. He hasn't had much luck before.
He's a very good horse mouth.
He is a very, very good.
What's the plans with him for this preparation?
Fights in the final and goes well in that. Possibly could be a New South Wales Derby trip on the cards for him.
Okay, and you're happy enough with how he's been progressing back to the racetrack then? Yeah,
very, very. He worked with Sea Fury last week and handled him quite comfortably, which is probably a good form line going in, considering Sea Fury is probably going to start favourite and be very hard to beat tonight. So going around in a 0-2 win race, you would expect him to be very hard to beat. He's got many strings to his bow, this horse, and he's quite exciting.
Well, looking forward to the next 48 hours for you. You've got some nice chances to be able to get into the winners list. So we thank you for your time and all the best.
Yeah, well, hopefully talking to you and not Tim, you might break the hood of me going on the radio. I might get a winner. The last time I spoke to him, I went to Narrogin.
Oh, no, we don't talk about that night.
No, that one's firmly buried deep in the depths of forgetfulness, that one.
Absolutely. All the best, Mal.
All right, thanks, buddy. Cheers, mate. Have a good day.
there we have Michael Brennan joining us here on, I was just about to say one out, one back, but it's not one out, one back, it's Off and Pacing. So that concludes Off and Pacing for this Monday morning. So we thank everyone for tuning in and thank Ollie as well as Mouse for joining us this morning. Good luck and good punting today at Bunbury and also Gloucester Park tomorrow. We'll be back again next Monday with a big week of harness racing action with the Knights of Thunder this Friday and also the Bustleton Cup on Friday night as well to conclude a wonderful season down there in the southwest. But for now, it's a very good morning.